Okay, now that you have made yourself familiar with some vocabulary surrounding circles, we are going to start solving some problems. So the first thing we want to discuss here is that when we're talking about the distance from the center of a circle to a chord, I talk about the perpendicular chord. So the shortest possible distance. So from my center to the chord, it's a perpendicular distance. And what this does is it also bisects our chord. So we make a line that is perpendicular to the chord and bisects it. So let's solve some problems. Here on number 1, the radius of circle O is 13 millimeters. The length of the chord is 10 millimeters. I want to find the distance from chord PQ to center O. So remember, I'm finding that perpendicular distance. So I'm going to draw that here. Here's my perpendicular distance. And remember, it also bisects my chord. So if my whole chord is of length 10, that's going to make each of these sides 5. All right, and now I know that my radius is 13 millimeters. So if I draw a line from my center to the edge of my circle where it also touches the chord, that's a radius. That's a radius length. And we know that that is 13. So here I'm just missing this side. Let's call it side B. I'm missing side B of what I have now made a right triangle. So I can use Pythagorean theorem to find my missing side. So here 13 is my hypotenuse, the side opposite the right angle. So 13 squared is going to be equal to 5 squared plus b squared. 13 squared is 169. 5 squared is 25. Do some little algebra here. I move that 25 over, and I get that 144 is equal to b squared. So I square root both sides, and I get that b is equal to 12 millimeters. So my distance from my center to my chord, the perpendicular distance, is 12 millimeters. All right, let's do number 2 now. Find the length of a chord that is 15 centimeters away from the center of a circle with a radius of 17 centimeters. So I've already drawn my circle, and so I'm told I want to find the length of the chord, and it's 15 centimeters away. So I'm going to draw a chord, and this distance here, I'm told, is 15. It is 15 centimeters away from the center. And I'm also told that my radius is 17. Now remember, this distance from the chord is perpendicular, so that's my right angle. And if I draw a segment from my center to the edge where it touches the chord, that is my radius length. So that is going to be 17. So I now have 2 sides of my right triangle, and I can use Pythagorean theorem to find this missing one. Let's call it A. So 17 is my hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle. So 17 squared is equal to A squared plus 15 squared. 17 squared is equal to 289. A squared plus 15 squared is 225. I subtract that because now we're just doing some basic algebra. And I get that 64 is equal to A squared. So we square root both sides, and I get that A is equal to 8. But remember, this perpendicular distance bisects my chord. So that length A is only half the distance of my chord. So the whole chord would be twice that distance, so it would be 18 centimeters. So the answer to number 1 is 12 millimeters. The answer to number 2 is 18 centimeters.